happening. It's done really quickly, and you get 4 doses in the first year, and then it's every 4 months after that. Everadc or risdiplam is an oral drug that children can take. That one is for 2 months and up, as nusinersen for all ages. And then Zolgensma is the gene therapy. And so the gene therapy, the way that one works is it's going in through a virus actually that doesn't cause infections, but that's how they figured out how to get it into the body. And it replaces the SMN1 that's not working with a functioning SMN1. So it's kind of more right at where the root of the problem is. And that is a one-time IV, so through the veins, infusion over an hour. That's done. And then typically you don't need more treatment after that.
And then in terms of, so with Zolgensma, I'll just kind of recap this really quickly. So with Zolgensma, that is tackling the SMN1 gene.
Correct.
And that is a gene therapy. It's run through a virus that, it doesn't cause infections or anything. It goes in an hour IV treatment. There's lots of follow-up care after that.
Correct.
And speaking
Yes.
with other parents, it's not, when I heard of like IV treatment, let's just be cranking it in. But aside that, there is tons of medical testing and safety protocols
Yes.
that come with that.
Yes.
So that is one treatment option. And Zolgensma is recommended for ages basically newborn to
6 months.
6 months old. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's also a weight. Is there a weight associated with that, or that's not even a conversation anymore?
Depending where you are in the world, weight kind of factors in as to kind of who the cover for. Here, it's typically more 6 months and under.
Okay. Which is covered here with Health Canada and by province, which is amazing if you're watching this video here in Canada. And then there are 2 other treatments that are tackling the SMN2 gene, which is that backup copy gene, and that's risdiplam and Spinraza.
Yeah.
And that's not quite the same as gene therapy. Risdiplam is oral, and we have Spinraza, which is done through that spinal tab. And again, our son was able to access treatment very young, and he didn't even flinch when getting his treatment. So I think it's amazing to see the incredible science at play and how successful and beneficial it can be, and how simply it can be for some of these children, not all, but some of these children, to be able to receive some of these treatments. So you're sitting with a family, they've gotten this diagnosis. We know this incredible news that we've seen, the landscape change, where there's now these 3 treatment options. And you talked about building a team, and I was jotting down, you're talking about nurses, and you're talking about obviously a pediatric neurologist, a pediatrician, a respirologist, OT, PT, potentially orthopedics. There's a full team that you're building here. But as you provide this diagnosis, we talked about this question of newly diagnosed, so now what? As a doctor that would be able to say, here's guiding you on the next steps of your journey, what does that look like when you're building out the team and you're providing this family with kind of a successful toolkit to navigate next steps with now living with spinal muscular atrophy?
Yeah, so every place is a little different as how they'll do it, though most provinces have at least one pediatric neuromuscular, like multidisciplinary clinic. So major centers have that. And so the main thing that the initial doctor who sees you, whether it's a neurologist, neuromuscular physician, pediatrician, they will refer you to that clinic for you. And if they don't, that's something you can ask to be referred to. So that way you will be followed by people who see other children with spinal muscular atrophy and are quite comfortable with that diagnosis. In the meantime, as a parent, really your job is just to treat your baby like your baby, and also let us kind of take care for you, because you're going to have a lot going on and we want to support you in that way as well. The other parts that you will do, though, is you will find probably physiotherapy closer to you if you need it. So you may not need it at all, but one of the things that often is done is you'll have physiotherapy, because you might live in a smaller town. You might not live in one of the bigger centers. So you'll have local physiotherapy that then connects and communicates with our team, who helps guide what would be appropriate for your child if it's required at all. So that's one thing you can do, or you can request our team to help with you to kind of do that in your community as well, to make sure you're not having to drive long distances all the time and doing lots of appointments. We can try to make sure all of your care is centered closer to you, so that way you're not over inundated with tons of appointments, because it's overwhelming. Part of that as well is making sure you have your family on board, because it's going to be a lot of information. And just like any new diagnoses, it's having other brains to listen and hear and ask questions, because moms and dads already have a new baby. They're sleep deprived. They're trying to figure out this little human. And then there's this whole new diagnoses they've never heard about. So having grandparents come, having other people listen in on conversations at your appointments and being part of your network is really helpful. And we really support that as well. We try to support the family, not just the child. Yeah, we want to
So
support
really,
everything.
I know that, and that's incredible. And again, we would encourage you. We talked about this earlier about building a support network, and hopefully it's your family. And if not, we know that friends sometimes feel like family, but do not do this journey alone. The load is lighter when it's shared with other people to help and to fill in the gaps and to help remember things as you're taking notes. And there's constant changes and there's incredible advancements. And so truly, you can set up your family, your child for success when building that support network from a medical side and gathering the team together so they can work in cohesion, but also from an at-home perspective, because having a newborn baby is hard enough as it
Yes,
is.
it is.
And
Yes.
being sleep deprived, you and I both know that,
Mhm.
being moms ourselves to children. If you could leave someone watching this video that's just learning about spinal muscular atrophy, whether they're receiving the diagnosis or maybe it's someone in their family or their network that they're trying to build and saying, this is SMA, I would love for you to just to share maybe some words of wisdom or just something for them to hang on to, because as we discussed earlier, the landscape has changed and there's so much hope for these families.
Mhm. Yeah, this is going to be a overwhelming time to hear such a new diagnosis. You've never heard about it. This is new to you, but there's hope, and you have a team that will be caring for your child, your family member, who wants the best for them as well. And we have options now. So there are treatments out there. Children are doing well with these treatments, and we care for them like they're our own children. And so we want the best for them too. And so know that we're there to support you guys. So if you're ever overwhelmed in this journey and you're seeking out other resources, don't forget you can reach out to us too. And we are happily have conversations over and over again until you feel supported and understanding what's going on in your life. We're here for you, and that's the main goal.
Isn't that beautiful? I think that's the reminder that it's like, it's okay to ask questions more than one time. It's okay that if it didn't stick the first time.
Mhm.
I remember, I feel like it took me a full year to understand fully what SMA was and how to be able to distill that and understand it and say, why can't my kid move? Why is this happening? What's SMN1 and SMN2? And there's all these fancy names, but we just want to encourage you that this is just a simple tool that you can listen to. You can, take some of this data, let it marinate. And then if you have more questions, go back to your medical team and your care providers to set you up for success. We are so grateful that Novartis has been able to help this in collaboration. I would like to mention that Dr. Crone did not take any financial benefit from this. She volunteered her time so that we could make this video happen. So thank you for doing that for us and for just
You're
having this
welcome.
conversation. My prayer and my hope for anyone watching this is that they'd have a wonderful doc like you that's as understanding and compassionate. And I just would love to leave you, if you finish this video, is believe in the best. Believe in the best in your medical team, believe that they are doing their best, that they're bringing the best options, and then believe in the best for your child. And I know that you can have an incredible, positive, and most importantly, joyful outcome for a really full life. We're really excited about all of the support systems and tools that there are for anyone living with spinal muscular atrophy. So thank you again for your time. We're so grateful, and thank you for serving our community, especially here locally in Calgary. What you do is, like I said, you're angels with wings tucked into your doctor coats with your stethoscopes, and we're thankful that we have such incredible team members here.
You're very welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to be part of this community. And so thank you for inviting me to come talk.
Okay, thank you.